I woke up this morning to 40-degree temperatures outside, clear skies, gorgeous views of the mountains, and it's September 1st. And I thought, you know what I bet my neighbors would really like? Pumpkin cinnamon rolls. Today is day 1 of 30 fall recipes, and pumpkin cinnamon rolls is the perfect way to start off a fall, right? So let's get baking. Pumpkin cinnamon rolls, really similar to other cinnamon roll recipes that I've shared with you guys. You have to adjust your liquids and your sugars just a little bit to accommodate for the pumpkin, but mostly it follows the same. So I've just scalded half a cup of milk, and I've put a quarter cup of butter in there to melt with it. I also have taken my yeast and put it in a quarter cup of just tap water, hot tap water, and let that sit and bloom. I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin. Now, we do not want to add our yeast to our very hot water, or we risk kind of burning it. So we want to cool it down a little bit. So that's why I'm adding my pumpkin, and I'm gonna add my sugar, which is a quarter of a cup of sugar. And I'm gonna put 1 cup of flour in also, and that's just gonna make it where there's no way we burn our yeast and it won't rise. I'm gonna go ahead and add my yeast. I'm just gonna add my egg, 1 room temp egg. I'm just gonna add in a half of a teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna add a total of 4 cups of flour. I also want to add some pumpkin pie spice. I'm going to do that halfway on the flour. So I've got 2 cups of flour in there. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. Honestly, pumpkin doesn't have a ton of flavor. Pumpkin pie spice is where your pumpkin flavors come from. 1 more cup of flour going in. I'm going to slowly add my flour as the dough needs. And it is in a mixer with a dough cup. As the dough needs, it kind of needs more flour as it goes. This is gonna need for about 10 minutes. Cinnamon rolls don't take very long to make, actual work time, but you gotta wait. They've gotta rise at least twice. So we've done the mixing. I added the last cup of flour, and it is a nice, not sticky dough. So I'm just gonna spray this bowl, drop this in, cover it with a towel, and let it rise until it doubles in size. Now we get to the fun part of cinnamon rolls. So since it's pumpkin, we want to bring in all of the fall fun flavors that you think of. So instead of using regular sugar, we're going to use brown sugar. And I'm going to do a mixture of cinnamon and pumpkin pie spice. You could do all cinnamon. I wouldn't suggest all pumpkin pie spice personally, but they're your cinnamon rolls. You do whatever you want. We're going to do about 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon, a little shy of that, and a half a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. So I'm going to combine your sugar and cinnamon and have melted butter, and then we get to make cinnamon rolls. So on a lightly floured surface, I'm going to dunk out our dough. I like thin cinnamon rolls, like thin layers of bread, so that there's lots of butter and like ooey gooey in between. So I like to roll mine as thin and as large of a rectangle as I can. So it does take a little bit of elbow grease, but honestly, things taste better when you work for them, right? This is about a stick of melted butter. And then just sprinkle on your brown sugar spice mixture. And make sure every bite of every cinnamon roll is deliciously spiced. Oh, it smells so good. Now, yeast is stretchy, so you kind of want to stretch it out so that it's kind of like the same size. And you want to loosely roll them. I don't like them when they're super tightly rolled. So we're just kind of fold over, making sure our corners, we don't want teeny tiny on the outside edge. They might be a little bit smaller, but we don't want teeny tiny. And then I just with my hand kind of squish it out, kind of make it all the same size. I'm trying to decide if I want 8 or 12 cinnamon rolls. So I'm gonna go in the same size pan regardless. And I like these because I don't have a lot of space to keep large pans like this in my apartment. So if I dispose of a bowl and I throw them away. If you have one that you could just keep, that'd be great. But I want something with a tall side. I think I'm only gonna do 8. I walk around and give these away. And so if I only do 8, that means I'll eat 1. And then I only have to find 7 more people. They're gonna be really tall and large. I'm excited. So put these guys in here. And then I like to brush the top with a little bit of melted butter to prevent them from kind of crusting out and hindering the rise that they're able to do. This is my pastry brush. I'm gonna do a maple cream cheese icing for these. So I've taken a block of cream cheese and softened it in the microwave. I'm gonna add between 1/4 and 1/2 cup of maple syrup. I'm gonna kind of taste it and see. I'm gonna do 1/2 cup-ish of powdered sugar. And it depends on how thick you like your icing on your cinnamon rolls. I want something that's gonna kind of go down in between the crevices and be amazing. All right, they're out of the oven. Look at it. I'm so excited. They turned out perfect. I ended up doing about 1/2 cup of maple syrup and 1 cup of powdered sugar. And I'm just gonna dab this right on, and it is gonna melt down, around, and over. All right, we have to try one. Oh, it is so hot still. It's so good. It's the perfect way to start September. I hope you try them.